Welcome to Fairy Tale Nights, your destination for relaxing bedtime stories for adults. We're delighted to have you here with us tonight. Before we begin, take a moment to make yourself comfortable. Lie down in your bed, perhaps under a warm blanket, and let the soft embrace of your pillow cradle your head. Allow the worries of the day to fade away as you prepare to be transported to a world of magic and wonder. This evening, we invite you to join us on a captivating journey through the timeless tale of Pinocchio, the wooden boy who dreamed of becoming real. It's a story filled with adventure, lessons, and heartwarming moments that remind us of the importance of honesty, love, and perseverance. As you listen, let the soothing sound of our narration help you unwind and drift into a peaceful slumber. If you enjoy our stories and would like to hear more, we kindly ask you to subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue bringing these magical stories to life. So, settle in, relax, and let's begin our enchanting journey with Pinocchio. Good night. Pinocchio, the Tale of a Wooden Puppet. Chapter 1. Geppetto and the Wooden Block. Once upon a time, in a quaint Italian village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling blue sea, there lived an old carpenter named Geppetto. Geppetto was known for his skill in creating beautiful furniture and toys, but despite his craftsmanship, he was a lonely man. His small, humble workshop was filled with the scent of freshly cut wood and the sound of his steady hammering, but it lacked the laughter and joy of children. One crisp morning, while searching for a new piece of wood for his latest project, Geppetto stumbled upon a peculiar log. It was not like any other piece of wood he had ever seen. It seemed almost alive, as if it had a spirit of its own. Intrigued, he took the log back to his workshop. "This piece of wood will be my masterpiece," he thought, his eyes shining with excitement. He carefully examined the log, noting its unique grain and texture. It felt warm to the touch, almost as if it had a heartbeat. With great care and precision, Geppetto began to carve the log. He started with the head, shaping it into a round, cheerful face. As he worked, the wood seemed to guide his chisel, responding to his touch as if it had a will of its own. He carved bright, inquisitive eyes that seemed to sparkle with life, a wide smile, and a small button nose. As the head took shape, Geppetto found himself talking to it, as if it were already a living boy. "Ah, you'll be my finest creation," he murmured. "I shall call you Pinocchio." The name felt right, as if it had always belonged to the puppet. Geppetto continued his work, crafting a sturdy body, agile arms, and nimble legs. He meticulously painted the puppet, giving him a colorful outfit and a pair of shiny, polished shoes. Chapter 2: Pinocchio Comes to Life. After days of meticulous work, Geppetto finally put the finishing touches on Pinocchio. He stepped back to admire his creation, feeling a deep sense of pride and satisfaction. To his astonishment, Pinocchio blinked his eyes, wiggled his fingers, and began to move and talk like a real boy. "Papa! Papa!" Pinocchio exclaimed, jumping off the workbench and into Geppetto's arms. Geppetto was overjoyed and considered Pinocchio his son. He hugged the puppet tightly and decided that he would raise Pinocchio as his own child, teaching him everything he knew and ensuring he grew up to be a good and honest boy. Geppetto marveled at the miracle before him, thanking the stars for bringing Pinocchio to life. He vowed to protect and nurture his new son with all his heart. Chapter 3: Off to School. Geppetto wanted Pinocchio to have an education, so he sold his only coat to buy Pinocchio a spelling book and sent him off to school. Pinocchio, however, was easily distracted. On his way to school, he encountered a puppet show. The vibrant colors, the lively music, and the laughter of the audience were too tempting to resist. Forgetting his promise to Geppetto, Pinocchio sold his spelling book to buy a ticket to the show. Inside the puppet theater, Pinocchio was thrilled to see puppets just like him performing on stage. They danced, sang, and acted out stories that captivated the audience. Pinocchio was so excited that he climbed onto the stage and began to dance with the other puppets. The crowd cheered, delighted by his unexpected performance. But the puppet master, a giant man named Mangiafuco, was not pleased with Pinocchio's intrusion. Mangiafuco captured Pinocchio and threatened to use him as firewood to cook his dinner. Pinocchio pleaded for his life, explaining that he had a father who loved him dearly. "Please, sir, don't burn me," he cried. "My father Geppetto is waiting for me at home. He would be heartbroken if I never returned." Moved by his tears and sincerity, Mangiafuco let him go and even gave him 5 gold coins to take back to Geppetto. "Use these wisely and take care of your father," Mangiafuco advised, his gruff voice softening. Pinocchio thanked him profusely and promised to be more careful in the future. Chapter 4: The Fox and the Cat. On his way home, Pinocchio met a sly fox and a cunning cat. They appeared friendly and curious about his newfound wealth. "Where are you going, little boy?" the fox asked, eyeing the gold coins in Pinocchio's hand. "I'm going home to give these coins to my father," Pinocchio replied. The fox and the cat exchanged a sly glance. "Why not double your money instead?" the fox suggested. We know of a place called the Field of Miracles, where you can plant your gold coins and they will grow into a tree laden with gold. Pinocchio, being naive and trusting, followed their advice. They led him to the Field of Miracles, where he dug a hole, planted the coins, and watered them, eagerly awaiting the promised riches. The fox and the cat promised to keep watch over the coins, while Pinocchio went to fetch more water. The next morning, Pinocchio returned to the Field of Miracles, only to find that his coins were gone. The fox and the cat had tricked him and stolen his money. Distraught and ashamed, Pinocchio realized he had been foolish to trust them. He sat down and wept, feeling utterly alone and abandoned. As he wandered aimlessly, he came across a talking cricket. "Why are you crying, Pinocchio?" the cricket asked. "I was tricked by a fox and a cat," Pinocchio sobbed. "They stole my gold coins, and now I have nothing to give to my father." The cricket shook his head. "You should have listened to your father's advice and gone straight to school. Your troubles stem from your lack of discipline and your inability to heed good counsel." Pinocchio, however, was too ashamed to admit his mistake and ignored the cricket's advice. He continued his journey home, determined to make things right with Geppetto. Chapter 5. The Blue Fairy. Lost and alone, Pinocchio stumbled upon a beautiful fairy with blue hair who took pity on him. She lived in a grand, ethereal house surrounded by a lush garden filled with flowers that seemed to glow with a magical light. The fairy welcomed Pinocchio inside and offered him food and shelter. "Tell me, Pinocchio," she said gently, "why are you so sad?" Pinocchio, feeling embarrassed, lied to her about what had happened, claiming that he had been robbed by a gang of thieves. As he lied, his nose began to grow longer and longer. The blue fairy looked at him with a mixture of sadness and understanding. "Pinocchio," she said, "every time you tell a lie, your nose will grow. Lies only lead to more trouble." Pinocchio felt a pang of guilt and confessed the truth. The blue fairy used her magic to return his nose to normal and sent him on his way with a warning to always tell the truth. "Remember, Pinocchio," she said, "honesty is the best policy. Be brave and truthful, and you will find your way." Chapter 6. Pinocchio returns home. Determined to make amends, Pinocchio hurried back to Geppetto. Along the way, he imagined how happy his father would be to see him. He promised himself he would be the best son he could be from now on. As he reached their small, humble home, he saw Geppetto working late into the night, his eyes tired but filled with hope. "Papa!" Pinocchio called out, running to embrace him. Geppetto turned, and his face lit up with joy. "Pinocchio, my son, I was so worried about you. Pinocchio told Geppetto everything that had happened, from the puppet show to the fox and the cat, and how he had lost the gold coins. Geppetto listened patiently, his eyes full of love and understanding. "What's important is that you're home safe," Geppetto said, hugging him tightly. "Money can be earned again, but nothing can replace you, my dear Pinocchio." Pinocchio felt a warm sense of relief and gratitude. He vowed to himself that he would never disappoint Geppetto again. Chapter 7. The Island of Toys. Pinocchio's adventures were far from over. As he continued his journey, he met a boy named Lampwick who convinced him to run away to the Island of Toys, a place where boys could play all day and never have to work or go to school. Tempted by the idea of endless fun, Pinocchio followed Lampwick, hoping to escape his worries and enjoy a carefree life. The Island of Toys was a paradise for children. There were amusement rides, endless games, and mountains of sweets. Pinocchio and the other boys indulged in every pleasure imaginable, laughing and playing from morning till night. It seemed too good to be true. After a few days, the boys began to notice strange changes. They started to grow donkey ears, tails, and hooves. Pinocchio was horrified as he sprouted donkey ears and a tail. He tried to hide his transformation, but it was no use. The more he indulged in the island's pleasures, the more he turned into a donkey. Realizing his mistake, Pinocchio fled the island. Though he was now part donkey, he vowed to find a way to reverse the curse and return to his true form. As he wandered, he encountered other boys who had not been so fortunate, fully transformed into donkeys and sold into hard labor. Pinocchio's heart ached for them, and he resolved to never again be tempted by easy pleasures. Chapter 8. The Giant Dogfish. Desperate to return to Geppetto, Pinocchio set out to find him. Along the way, he heard news that Geppetto had gone searching for him and had been swallowed by a giant dogfish. Determined to save his father, Pinocchio dove into the sea and was also swallowed by the monstrous fish. Inside the belly of the dogfish, Pinocchio found Geppetto, weak and exhausted, but alive. They embraced, overjoyed to be reunited. Geppetto's eyes filled with tears as he held his beloved son. "I never gave up hope of finding you," Geppetto said. "You are my everything, Pinocchio." Chapter 9. The Escape. Using his cleverness and the help of some friendly fish, Pinocchio devised a plan to escape. They tickled the inside of the dogfish's throat, causing it to sneeze them out in the open sea. Exhausted but free, they swam to the shore and made their way home. Pinocchio took care of Geppetto, working hard to provide for them both. He remembered the blue fairy's words and strived to be honest, kind, and diligent. He helped Geppetto in the workshop, learning the trade and proving himself to be a skilled and hard-working apprentice. Chapter 10: The Final Test. One day, while working in the workshop, Pinocchio heard a commotion outside. A fire had broken out in the village, and the townspeople were in a panic. Without hesitation, Pinocchio rushed to help, risking his own safety to save others. He carried water, helped evacuate buildings, and did everything he could to assist. The blue fairy watched from afar, her heart swelling with pride. Pinocchio has proven himself to be brave, selfless, and true, she thought. That night, as Pinocchio slept, the blue fairy appeared to him in a dream. Chapter 11: The Transformation. Pinocchio, she said, you have shown great courage and kindness. For your good deeds, you will be rewarded. With a wave of her wand, she transformed Pinocchio into a real boy. Pinocchio woke up to find himself transformed. He had flesh and blood, and his wooden body was gone. Overwhelmed with joy, he ran to Geppetto, who could hardly believe his eyes. They hugged each other tightly, tears of happiness streaming down their faces. From that day forward, Pinocchio and Geppetto lived happily together, grateful for their second chance and the love that had brought them through their trials. Chapter 12: A New Beginning. Life in the village changed for Pinocchio and Geppetto. The townspeople welcomed Pinocchio as a hero for his bravery during the fire. He made new friends and continued his education, excelling in his studies and becoming a model student. Pinocchio never forgot the lessons he had learned. He remained honest, hardworking, and kind, always striving to make Geppetto proud. Geppetto's workshop flourished, with Pinocchio helping to create beautiful toys and furniture that were admired throughout the village. They shared their joy and success with the community, often donating toys to children and helping those in need. Pinocchio's transformation into a real boy was not just physical. It marked his growth into a responsible and caring individual. He often visited the Blue Fairy's meadow, thanking her for her guidance and magic. She watched over him, proud of the boy he had become. Chapter 13: Legacy of Love. Years passed, and Pinocchio grew into a fine young man. Geppetto, though older and slower, remained by his side, filled with pride and love for his son. Pinocchio's adventures and misadventures became tales of wisdom that he shared with the next generation, teaching them the values of honesty, hard work, and love. The village remembered the story of the wooden puppet who became a real boy, a tale of transformation and redemption that inspired many. Pinocchio and Geppetto's bond remained unbreakable, a testament to the power of love and the belief that even the most unlikely of dreams could come true. And so, Pinocchio learned the value of honesty, hard work, and the love of family, living happily ever after with his beloved father, Geppetto. This was the fairy tale of Pinocchio. As we reach the end of our story, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey of Pinocchio and how it mirrors our own lives. Pinocchio faced numerous challenges, temptations, and mistakes, but he grew wiser and stronger through his experiences. In many ways, we are all like Pinocchio, navigating the complexities of life, learning from our errors, and striving to become the best versions of ourselves. His tale teaches us valuable lessons about the power of honesty, the importance of perseverance, and the unbreakable bond of love and family. Thank you for joining us tonight on Fairy Tale Nights. We hope you found comfort and inspiration in this enchanting tale. If you enjoyed our story and wish to hear more, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support allows us to continue bringing you these magical bedtime stories. We are grateful for your presence and wish you a restful and peaceful night. Let the gentle embrace of sleep carry you into a world of sweet dreams. And may you wake up refreshed and ready to embrace the new day with hope and joy. And until next time, keep dreaming and believing in the magic of fairy tales. Sweet dreams and good night.